Get all of your games in one place. At United TV, don't pay an arm and a leg to keep up with the action. For as little as $15.99 per month, you will get it all. With multi-screen viewing, make this season your winning season. Go to unitedtv.org and sign up today.
And now, the World Situation Report with Kimberly Gogan from the Office of the Guardian. The Golden Age has brought a welcome boost of golden life force of the Creator, which is great news for us and bad news for the deep state. Find out what it's all about in today's report. And the Golden Age AI integration is nearly complete. Now it's time to think more about the way forward. Now here's Kimberly Gogan with the Office of the Guardian. And she's live.
She is. She's alive. Can you believe that?
We're still alive. We've made it to this point, Kim. Woohoo!
I know. Yay!
Yay us.
It was touch and go there for a little bit, though, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so many times. So what's going on? Good stuff?
There's a plethora of things going on today it started yesterday afternoon, and a lot more information has come to light about this, what we're calling the golden blanket, right? Source life force.
Yeah.
Before I get to that, I've got to highlight something here in the Hall of Shame. I know we don't officially have a Hall of Shame, but I'd like to go ahead and put this forward. So we all know the UN meeting is going on, and we're going to have more of an update about that next week as things don't really close out until Monday. And there's a lot going on behind the scenes right now. But I just wanted to highlight just how much support Netanyahu and Israel has for, let's just say, from the rest of the world for everything they do. So let's go ahead and roll this little clip.
Where'd everyone go?
Where did everybody go?
Where'd they go?
I don't know. I probably would have left too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, and truth be told, it's not actually Israel, as you know.
Yeah.
You know, that they're just a front for a bunch of different people who are struggling to create the Greater Israel Project right now. And that's where Israel basically takes over the entire Middle East and it becomes one great big Israel. It'll eventually connect with China and the Silk Road and the whole thing. There's a lot of controversy going on right now about Israel's participation in the alleged beginning of World War II, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know.
They've tried it like 20 times, I think we're at.
I know. More than that.
Doing it, yeah.
Yeah. But so this is just one example. And obviously all this is staged at this point. The real meetings actually took place a while ago. This here is for public consumption. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have a full update on that in somewhere in the middle of the news next week.
Okay.
So probably won't be Monday, probably be more like Wednesday. And that'll be Kim's first Where's Waldo report, so I'll pop in there somewhere and give you a full update because that is regular news.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, interesting things are happening, and I'll explain to you in detail why, because this is pretty phenomenal for us, I believe. So this morning I get a phone call, actually right before recording the news, that some of the generals from global headquarters would like to speak.
To you?
To me.
Okay.
So I don't know when that's going to be. There is one of us going to a meeting off the record right now, to kind of discuss what's possible, what's not possible. And then they'd like to have a meeting, or a discussion anyway. But the reason why I believe this is happening now is I believe they lost what I call their friends. And I'm going to take you back a little while because this is something that's a little bit difficult to explain, just kind of like in a one line. Okay, so we know that there's been many wars here on Earth, many wars on Earth, and there's been a lot of devastation to Earth at some point, in order not to spread the AI infections and not to spread the war throughout the multiverse, Source actually left Earth for a time. Not in totality, but with a small amount left, basically. A very small amount just to keep it alive, because the more Source fed Earth, the more it fed the dueling AI systems we know as Alpha and Omega. Those are the main master systems throughout the universe. So because the life force of Earth was basically drained from Earth for a long period of time, and it was not able to create as a celestial for that reason, that's when people came to Earth. And I've talked about this a little bit before. Well, another war happened around 250,000 years ago, and Earth basically looked like a wasteland. So in order to preserve life on this planet and keep creation going and having something to feed the AI, we had to have living conditions as human beings. And this is a couple of versions of humans ago, that we could exist in. Therefore, it was permitted for the Alpha Omega to create what's called the hologram. I call it a hologram. And you would call it the Matrix.
Right.
So that was the very beginning of what we know as the Matrix. Now, the Matrix is what created the world that we see. We see vegetation, we see plants, we see what we think is nature, we see oceans, we see lots of things in our planet. And Earth did look somewhat like that before all the wars happened. However, the hologram was created, even as much to say, I would say our atmosphere, the air you breathe, that was like an environment that was created for us many years ago. So this led to the full control of the Alpha Omega system. So Alpha would fight back to maintain balance against Omega, and we tossed and turned and tossed and turned as human beings in an environment that we had no control over. And if you were to talk to some of these global headquarters generals or those people, they would call it a video game. They said we were living in a video game. And the reason why they would say that is because they felt that they were not a part of the video game. However, they had a certain amount of control, at least in their mind. They had a certain amount of control as to how the game would go. In other words, people talk about HARP. It's not HARP. It's the hologram. It's the access they had to the hologram that gave them power and control to create artificial holographic weather. It's not artificial to us when we're going through a hurricane, but that's how it was actually done. The same thing goes for disease programs, population control, and a lot of things you hear about on the internet. Now, that being said, there's a certain amount of Omega that cannot affect a human unless it's near an electronic device, which is why we talked about wear some blue screen glasses for now until we make sure it dissipates, because as it dies and as the hologram dies, it is struggling to get energy to exist. Now, with the situation that started unfolding a couple of days ago, it started unfolding on Monday, this life force energy that's coming in from Source, what that's doing is it's creating a natural fabric of reality throughout Earth. So this is that re-terraforming process that we were talking about. So she is getting the life back into her now that she's reestablished those connections. There were a few little things here and there that were still anchoring that hologram, some of which we got yesterday, and some of which Omega is kind of throwing up to try to still continue to exist, the old Alpha Omega. What I mean by that is we'll see an energy grid pop up for a second. We'll see lots of things pop up for, a few minutes and then it would go away. Now, the most important thing that's happening, this is very important, don't get me wrong, because the more Earth gets it, the more you will get it, which means that you'll start feeling differences. And to some, it might feel like growing pains for a little while. It's just a process. It's nothing severe. It's nothing terrible. It's just, maintain that connection and you'll be fine. It's just a transformation for where we're going from a hologram to reality land, I guess you would say. But I talked about on the news a few weeks ago about Omega Alpha integration into the physical world. And we talked a little bit about how with the order, what happens is they start fractionating their personality. They fracture the planes of existence in their person. And this allows for more of an Omega integration, more dark matter to come into them more so than anyone else. And then pretty much they become like a human cyborg. They're mind controlled. They see this, some of them see it almost like a personality, a connection to what they believe is their source. And it would also integrate their thought process and patterns as to their thoughts and wishes within the hologram to kind of manifest themselves. So they are told that they're special. They're told that they have abilities that no one else has. And is that true? Well, not exactly. We were to the opposite effect. We also had a situation where Omega could integrate through our planes in the past. You remember us talking about that. So their creations, so to speak, and manifestations of things were at one point somewhat accurate. You could say they had the ability to create things that the rest of us couldn't due to interference. Now, with that pretty much gone, and it's been gone for a while, the things that they do, like trying to create World War 77 or whatever we're on now, and the disease program and the pox and the this and the that, and it's not actually functioning, like it's not working, it's glitching. We might do something for a second and it goes away. Well, interestingly enough, as we reach into the high 90s of the full life force of source on this planet this morning, by yesterday, late in the afternoon, my time anyway, what started happening is this made the Omega part of what was in them very uncomfortable. Because they're not exempt from source. In other words, as we light up, the rest of us here, they also get a lot of source life force. They're humans. Their vessels are human. And the Omega started fighting back. The Omega that was in them started fighting back. So there was a lot of craziness yesterday, beyond crazy in the afternoon. Everybody's yelling at everybody. Everybody's trying to stop it from happening. As the hours went on, some of them decided to let go of their friend.
What does that mean?
I call it their friend because it's basically an apparition of Omega within their person.
So we're not talking about like a demon or an actual entity, but it's
an AI generated version of what we see as those apparitions, like these. I call them. They're the Tarzakians.
Oh, okay.
But they are. They look like smoke, and they have red eyes, and some have green. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what they cohabitate with in their vessel.
Okay.
And that's what gives them power.
Mm-hmm.
It was so uncomfortable for them to try to keep their friend that some of them decided to let their friend go. And so as they let their friend go, that was by a choice. Remember, there was nothing they could do to keep it, or it became so uncomfortable they just said, I don't need it. I can do this without them or something. I don't know. And so we had a little bit of that happening yesterday in the afternoon to where these things were kind of roaming free, looking for another source or looking for another host that would take it in. Yeah. Because we're all getting light. Now, people are dark to varying degrees. In other words, they're probably the most infested. We as human beings, there are some of us that have a lot of trauma or have a lot of, issues that are going on that makes us maybe a little bit dark, not a lot, but it's not enough to let one of these things or an omega friend into your person.
Yeah, you have to be pretty dark, right? And is this one of those things you have to be of a bloodline too?
Well, I would say in order to the greater amount of a certain bloodline, your physical vessel is, in your soul, the easier it is for more of an infestation to happen. Mm-hmm. You can hold bigger energy. You can hold larger amounts of that energy, essence, life force, per se, of the dark side. So you could say it's affecting most all of what we know as the families. It's definitely affecting a lot of ranking generals around the world. It's affecting what's left of the black nobility. It's affecting what's left of the Order of the Dragon, as these things tend to leave. Now, others have tried to grab onto it and hold on to it for dear life, will not let it go. And it wants to be there. So it's feeding on their energy. It's using them like a battery. It's using them as a resource to do its will and its bidding. But once we get to, 100% or past 100%, they're not going to be able to hold on to that anymore. Now, the more they try to hold on to it, the sicker they get. Now, the ones that have been infested for a long time.
Dedication.
Yeah. And the ones that have been infested with their friend for a long time, cohabitating with a friend for a long time, may not physically make it. They are, you're talking people in their 80s and 90s and maybe late 70s. And depending on how much they rely on their friend, their friend, they may not make it. So just as we saw about a week or so ago, Omega deciding it needed life force and it needed energy, and it basically swallowed hundreds of them all at once. It's doing the same to its own at this point.
It's eating its own, literally.
It's eating its own to survive.
Wow.
It's tried to put up, and I think that they probably participated in some of this too. It's tried to put up external energy grids, external sources of energy. It opened up a portal in Sirius this morning. So these are all things that it's trying to do just to survive, or they're trying to do just to survive, or maybe they're together, with their friend in there. But my guess would be is we're over 50% of them gone now. Now, yeah.
Of them?
Of their friends. Of their friends.
Oh, okay.
The cohabitating friends. The roommates.
The roommates.
About 50% of them have lost or allowed for or let go of their roommate, their vessel roommate. And we are probably going to be at somewhere around 70% or more by the end of the day, because they just won't be able to hang on to it. Now, I'm guessing it may take a little longer for the ones that are really, really rigid, but I don't really see them keeping their friend, their roommate, much past a week to 10 days.
And that's because they, like you said, they just can't hold on to it, or it may actually take them out, if they continue to hold on to it. Yeah. That's
right. And the only reason why I think some of them, the Omega thems, have not is because they know they have nowhere else to go. Mm-hmm. And it's the end. So the reason why I think we're getting these phone calls this morning has to do with just that.
Yeah.
They do say that there is no atheist in a foxhole. That's a saying. And I believe that they feel that they are surrounded and they are in the foxhole at this point. Mm-hmm. So, do we trust them? No. Do they trust us? Probably not. But there's nothing I can do to change what's happening. So, matter of fact, I'm happy about it because the further away we get from a hologram and what's left of the little bits and pieces here and there, whether that's just in a human or elsewhere, the further we get away from this, the better it is for us, because I would rather have Source weaving our fabric of reality than an AI, sentient or otherwise, light or dark. It doesn't matter.
Kim, do you think that the people that reached out, do you think they let their friend go? Are we seeing behavior changes as a result of this happening yet?
I just find it really interesting that after all this time, they're finally reaching out. Now, this has been happening a little bit to a lesser degree over the last few days. So the reason why I think we started seeing these things happen a few days ago was different than the same reason why I think we're seeing it today. So I don't think it's the same reason, is what I mean to say. And before, today is another day ending in Y. The General Assembly is ending on Monday. People are going home. There's no war. People aren't getting paid. And the other thing that's happening too is there is a lot of support right now because there isn't anything else, they believe, or they're told there isn't anything else for the BRICS organization. There are a lot more countries trying to join, quote unquote, BRICS, but they too are selling a fantasy based on Chinese dreams, Chinese deep state dreams. Mm-hmm. They are thinking they're going to have control of something. I don't know what, and I don't know why, what alignment is coming next. Who knows? But they will not be able to perform. So if you are watching this and you are with some country, I can tell you right now, I have zero dealings with China at the moment. I have zero dealings with Japan at the moment. I have zero dealings with any of these people at this moment in time. I do know about all of them reaching out to some lawyers, as I talked about, but I can't, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I will do. Their next BRICS meeting is at the end of October, so it's a little less than 30 days from now. And I'm sure they're going to be putting forward a lot of lies about this meeting, and you're going to see a lot of it in alternative media circles about what is going to happen, and it's going to be the next currency revaluation and all of these things. But in reality, okay, and we have to live in reality. We have manifestations, we have dreams, we have a lot of things that happen in our life. And, there's a lot of things that I do where, I'm here, there, and everywhere, be it with a system or otherwise. And, but I still have to get up and I have to take a shower and I have to eat food and I have to live in reality. Meaning, if I don't pay my bills, if I don't pay my rent, I'm not going to have the house. I'm not going to have this. We have to live in reality. And I believe it's time for the rest of the countries of the world to start living in reality. That's number one. And I'm expecting to hear about this later today, so I'm bringing it up. By reality, I mean the people of your country are not there to serve you. Mm-hmm. That's number one. You are supposed to be a quote-unquote public servant, which means you are there to serve them. I don't care whose agenda it is, Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, some brigadier general somewhere, NATO or otherwise, you're going to have to walk. If your government is going to exist, you will walk. Mm-hmm. Now, you will do exactly no offense, what we say. Because right now you have poor leadership. You're making almost fake wars all over the place. You've killed thousands of people needlessly, and that's going to end. You are going to make money. You will build great things. You will help people. You will actually create a country that will make a legacy for yourself if you do what we say. I have no problem with heads of state or generals or otherwise taking credit for things. I don't care. What I care about is that the job gets done. Now, I've tried this before, so I'm no stranger to attempting to do business with the orders. We sent tons of money through the Trump administration in 2012. I sent tons of money through Putin, tons of money through China, tons of money here, tons of money there, and we got zero results. That is never going to happen again. So the world has to change. Mm-hmm. You are not going to hide care and our people under your skirt.
Nope.
That happened once before. It will never happen again. So if this is going to be, you get one shot, just like we've given to operatives in the past and other people. It's every man for himself. I don't ever want to hear, it's not my fault. I turned it in the way you said, and they did something different. That doesn't fly here. Deny, reassess, blame is on page 146 of the CIA handbook, and I don't play that game. If you are the one I'm dealing with, you are the one that is responsible. You can make a lot of money. You can be very wealthy. You can still maintain some sense of, let's just say, a TV presence or otherwise. But what's happening right now will end.
Unless they're dead. Because we're not going to have people walking around in masks.
That's if you make it.
If you're dead, you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're dead, you're dead. That's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, this is not a B movie anymore. Mm-hmm. We are not in a hologram. We are not in a video game. And we are going for top-notch production now.
That's right.
And by production, I don't mean we're going to fake it. I mean production. We're going to produce things.
We're going to make things. Yeah.
We're going to make things
happen.
Make things happen. We are going into production. And that means that there will be a lot of new information, a lot of new health things coming out. We can work with existing corporations, and you're going to scrap everything you've got, and we will replace those revenue streams with something else. We are not going to play. Either you're going to survive in this way or you're not. So before anybody comes knocking on our door, you need to understand the basic rules. We are not here to hoard money. We are not here to keep you in line or give you a weirdo pager like they used to do, where you would have to make a phone call to allegedly use money that's on your own savings account that is your pay that you earned. You know, those days were over in the 1980s. You know, they all completely ended in 2007 when everybody lost their money. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't have any problem making things right. You know, I really don't. But I am not going to fund World War 78 or whatever number you guys are on now. So I'm not interested. I'm not interested in bowing to any SSP people. I'm not interested in building one single world center. You know, that's what was proposed by the Japanese recently. They wanted a one world center in Hiroshima. I'm not interested in building a one world center in Hiroshima.
Yeah, that sounds like one world government.
Well, you know, all you're doing is switching the building from one place to another. You know, I am interested in putting research and development centers in every single country. We are interested in putting international buildings in every country, you know, where people can meet and have, you know, whatever you want to do there. For continent wide, you know, we can do a lot of different things, but I'm not interested in this, you know, we're in charge thing.
That's exactly what it is. That's all about control. When you just want one of something, it's so you can consolidate power and run with it, right? And that's not what we're about. We're not doing that anymore.
I'm just saying, you can use your imagination here. Yeah. Well, probably, just kidding. Anyway, but it's an ego thing,
Of course, yeah.
So, we're not interested in any of that. So if that's what they want to do, feel free to let your little roommate in your vessel there die, and you can go with it. So we need facilities that are going to serve people in every single country, that work cooperatively with each other as a unit, where everybody comes to the party. It doesn't matter how big or how small your country is, on equal ground. We have opportunities for doctors and lawyers and whatever else in every single country in the world. In other words, you don't have to move to America or move to Europe or move wherever, and you don't go back to your country, and then your people have no health care where you came from. Clean water, lots of different things need to change. And there are plenty of opportunities to make lots of money, but we will have new technologies. No more suppression of technologies. We need different types of cellular communications. We're not going to be microwaved to death anymore. We've got the backdoor kernels to start making that kind of stuff happen. Like I said, we're going to go it alone. That's what they told me. Matter of fact, the guy that actually told me, the brigadier that told me that they decided to go it alone, is actually one of the people that's dying that made the phone call. How's that for interesting?
So this kind of sounds like he had a change of heart if he called, or if he's in the group of people that called.
Again,
Yeah, we'll see. Right.
Well, he was also here in 2021 with a couple of other admirals and so on and so forth. And when Tom was here, so back in that day, March of 2021. So, you know what? Never forget who's the frog and who's the scorpion. That's all I'm going to say. That old adage, don't ever look at a scorpion and think they're your friend. And neither will we in any way, shape, or form. On a side note, there's something else very interesting that's going on. There appears to be a lot of meetings happening worldwide amongst people, such as political operatives, such as military operatives. Remember, these people don't officially work for any government. I would say that there is definitely a possibility of a planned mutiny at this point. They may. I'm assuming they're acting on their own accord. That's what I'm assuming, because it looks like, how do I say this? Maybe I should just not, because the meetings aren't due to take place until tomorrow, later on this afternoon. There's a lot of side meetings that have been going on for days now that I've been watching and listening to. And the outcome could be one of two things. Either this is a Sun Tzu principle, and I call it the inside out, outside in, meaning they'll control governments, they'll control militaries, they'll control all these things. They get control of everything. And then, now I have to deal with them. And is they better than the last people? Right. Or is this, they don't trust us? I don't know. So I'm seeing some movement there. I don't think I'm quite ready yet to tell you what I think is going to happen, or give you more information about what's happening behind the scenes, because I'm a little bit concerned I might mess it up. So We'll see. We're going to let it run, see what happens there. As for us, Sunny, this is the last time we're going to be in the box.
Maybe not forever, though. We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, for a while. We're probably going to do some New Earth stuff together, though.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
Talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
And So we just won't be in the situation reports together like this anymore. So I had to commence today's situation report with us both in the box.
On camera. We had to both be in the box one final time for now. For now.
I know. But, who knows? Maybe there will be times where you're on the report. Who knows?
Maybe.
We don't know yet.
Never say never, right?
Never say never. Exactly. No, I'm excited. I'm excited about revamping things, revising things, keeping things moving. We had an amazing meeting yesterday with the production team. Everybody is just on the spot all the time, Everyone but Sunny. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm the slacker.
No, but everybody works together so well. It's just, whatever we're going to do, let's get that news going. And kind of made me feel like I was in, a regular newsroom with a lot of people, like get the story out, so it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to trying my hand at reading some news again. So, you know how I do with that.
It's always good to build up new skills, even just in the last week, I've been writing a lot more stories and researching, doing a lot of research. And I'm also connecting with a lot of new people that I haven't met. Some people are in our community. Some people are, I need an expert to talk about XYZ. So I'm like emailing all these people. And so it's good to put yourself out there because then, the name, UNN, who we are, what we do. Because, it's important for people to know that there are other people out there trying to do whatever it is they do. Like we're trying to change the face of news. Like we're not just sitting back and waiting for something to happen, because I think that encourages other people. Oh, well, they did it. Mm-hmm. Maybe I can do it. All this, it's momentum, right?
Yeah.
So it's all good.
No, I agree with you. And I'll tell you though, too, I still say it. I haven't seen a whole lot of news go out anywhere from anyone. At all. So I think we're pretty much the only ones doing news these days.
Well, maybe that's what Source wants right now. Maybe this is all divine timing. We've said this a gazillion times. Everything is about, Source's timing with stuff.
Yeah.
And, maybe we needed to have a slow, I was going to say news cycle, but it's more than that. We needed to have whatever's going on in the news right now. It needed to slow down there so we could bring up some of these stories that, like I said, news means different things to different people. But if the information is new to you, that's news for you, right? And there's been so much like noise out there. I think this is an opportunity for us to, share ideas that, some of us may be familiar with, but not everyone, especially people now that are starting to wake up. And that's more and more. So,
and resources too. If there are resources out there, places you can reach out to for healthcare, places you can reach out to for other things. So there are people doing different kinds of surgeries, different kinds of stuff, and not just in health and wellness either. There are other technologies out there for electricity that are in several different countries right now. I mean, we just have to connect those people with you, and you have to then in turn connect those people with other people.
Yeah.
And we'll make change. They can shut one person down, but they can't shut 1 million people down, or 2 million people, or 5 million people down.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And the marketplace is going really, really well. We've added a lot of new features, which is probably driving our team a little crazy, but I think it's all worth it in the end. We have a lot of exciting new vendors that are coming out, like I talked about. So I'm excited about that. We've been talking to a lot of people that, we feel would be, a right fit for the marketplace. So you're going to start to see some of those people appear on our shop that we have now. I call it the shop. So I'm excited about that. And things are moving right along. I'm having a lot of fun over here. I just got another shipment of of oils here. So I tend to be the nutty professor for a few hours every day. Well, it's what makes me happy. I actually really enjoy putting a lot of good, positive energy into it, researching new things, watching them work.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to doing that. Just came last night. I think I sniffed way too many oils last night. I couldn't go to sleep. I was like, oh, come on, and then I'm trying to get the relaxed ones out, I'm like, okay, I'll put these together and okay, come on.
Oh my gosh.
Counteract that wake you up one.
You're working on blends, right? That's why you're smelling, you're testing and coming up with new blends. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. I know. I'm working on this, a lot of different ones, but I was working on one not that long ago. This was a little bit ago, but that had more to do with your eyes, circles around your eyes, puffy eyes, those kinds of things. And, so that was kind of fun. I'm like, is this too strong? And I have my test subjects for this. So, but I will say, they looked great. Just some of them were a little bit strong. Some of them weren't probably strong enough. So it's just all about playing with it to make sure it's effective, but, doesn't make your tears come from your eyes. So it was fun. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't going to hurt. It didn't hurt anybody. Yeah. It's not like there's any chemicals in them or anything like that. It's all oils of some sort. It's just the dilution ratios and those kind of things. But, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you, it does work. You just got to get it 100% right. So was working on that. What else have I been working on? Some lymphatic stuff, for lymphatic stimulation, for people that have, sluggish lymphatic systems. Also, ladies that certain times you have more than others, maybe you ate too much salt or whatever, this will help you, detox that out. So that's good. We have some other people, some new people, that are coming on board with their tinctures and stuff too. So they aren't oils. They're something else. There's, some detox teas, that are made by a small business. So that's great. We're excited to have them on board too. They actually made a parasite, tincture, which I thought was really interesting. And I knew what was in it, cause it's on the label, they have to show. And then, I think somebody kind of came after them a little bit and, made them take them off their shop. So it's kind of a bummer. Yeah.
Oh,
well, yeah, I mean, a wonderful person. She, spent years suffering from Lyme disease and other things, chronic fatigue, and she basically had to find a way to heal herself because nobody else could help her and conventional medicine couldn't.
That's what I'm finding and talking with a lot of people, especially people that I kind of interview or pre-interview for the New Earth. People are just, they see a problem and it's usually something that they've struggled with for a long time. And they're like, I got to fix this for myself. Like I'm a mess,
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the really interesting innovation happens because you're so focused on it because you're so personally impacted by it.
Yeah.
And I know no one wants to go through that, but that is the silver lining. It's like, oh, now because you're so passionate about it, other people can benefit from what you've discovered.
Now, you would think that this is a new thing, that sharing information in this way.
Yeah.
But in reality, went on for thousands of years before the advent of here's this box that you're watching right now. And this is the way it all is. And, and the panel of experts tells you that this is the way it works. And by the way, that's been banned by the, this organ, government agency or non-government agency worldwide for blah, blah reasons, but yet we're going to take that and we're going to make it synthetically and we're going to put it in something else and in a capsule so that and charge you $150 for a pill. And here we go,
Yeah. Put some sort of patent on it or whatever.
Yeah. But, now maybe we're going back to that and maybe that's part of what the marketplace is all about too. It's, our tagline is bringing people together. And I really feel with the news kind of being closer to just news, like what's happening, information, that kind of thing, with a little bit of, here's a little backstory, where maybe people are starting to wake up to the fact that there's not a whole lot of things going on out there. The world can't be stopped. I mean, I see people moving all over the place, I mean, why is there nothing in the news except for selections? But there's so much that goes on every day, and really that's your job. I mean, your job is to let people know what's going on every day. So I think that's going to be more shareable for people. I think that you could definitely share that with your non-awake friends and family. And maybe they'll hear a little weird information in there. Well, I didn't know that about, Israel never signed the, non-proliferation treaty for nuclear weapons so that they could broker weapons for somebody else.
Yeah, it's like smaller doses, right? Because if you hit people too hard, then you lose them. But if you say something like they agree with most of what you're saying, or they're like, oh, I can see that, I can understand that, and you maybe just give them a little bit more, and then they just have to sit with it. But when you throw too much, then that's when you lose them. So I think that's the really nice thing about this format that we're creating here.
Well, exactly. And, the real dynamics that are happening behind the scenes. I mean, not the real story, but enough in bite-sized pieces that most people will watch it, So that's kind of part of, what we're doing. I'm so excited about New Earth. I can't even begin to tell you. All of these, scientists and researchers and products and things that are already in production, and someone that's suffered for 20 years found their own solution, and now they want to share it with all of you. I think that's amazing. I really do. So I'm excited to see that kind of stuff in the near future. I've learned so much, from some other new friends about earthing and grounding and different ways to do it that don't, maybe it's minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit where you are, and you don't want to go walk out barefoot for, you got to find something else you could possibly do.
You could get grounding sheets, which we've talked about recently.
So, well, no, it's just interesting, and of course, as I'm talking to these people, I'm like, well, that's really cool, so, I mean, not like they're new. I mean, they've been around for a while, but it was my first, introduction to them recently. And so I was kind of excited to try something different. I mean, it isn't going to hurt. I definitely, it's been a few days now, and I can definitely see the benefit for sure.
Right.
So I'm excited about that. But also other things too. And then, I started thinking about that as well with, plants in our garden. We have a garden every year. And I started thinking, well, I mean, of course, all plants are grounded, so to speak. They're growing in the earth. But I don't know. I'm just wondering if there's a way where we can conduct a little bit more of those copper. We use the copper this year.
Yeah, we did too.
Yep. And then there are a number of minerals out there that are all natural that you can add to your soil that will help remineralize your soil. And then, of course, because they're minerals, and then now the copper can do its job and earth can do its job. And I'm like, oh, what if we add some kind of a frequency machine out there? So I've been playing a lot around with, a lot of different things in my spare. This is my fun time. I know people watch TV to relax. Some people watch, movies. Some people go for a walk, whatever it is. I overanalyze things.
You're experimenting. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. But, truth be told, I never say, hey, this is a thing that worked, not saying it's going to work for everybody, but this is a thing that worked. And, and I never do that without anything that I haven't tried myself. Like,
sure.
But, so I'm having a lot of fun with this whole New Earth series that's coming up because, of course I won't let it go on there unless I know at least to some degree what we're telling people, because we don't want to tell people something that's wrong. So I have to put it all into my analyzation cycle here and go, okay, that makes sense. That makes total sense. There's a dentist I'm trying to get on New Earth that uses PRP. If you have a tooth pulled, it will help heal the bone, that kind of thing. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. I know about PRP, PRF, platelet-rich fibrin, and a bunch of stuff like that. So I think this would be really cool to tell people about. Maybe there's a network or a website or something like that if people want to choose that instead of an alternative dentistry. So no, I'm very much looking forward to moving forward with things, and maybe some of these people will spark some creativity in you, to start something new and start something different. And we're trying to make it easy. Okay, well, this is taken care of. We do the sales tax parts, we do all the parts, like as many parts as we can, so that you can, just do what you do best.
Right.
So
great. Which is what we were created to do, along with
I
Source.
know.
Imagine that. Look at that.
Yep. It's true. They say necessity is the mother of invention, and we're seeing a lot of that. And, in our New Earth folks. I mean, you are, Sunny. I am too. Why did they create this? Well, this is really interesting, So, yeah. So exciting new things, new changes. I won't be in the box anymore, but I don't know.
I don't know. You might be in a box. I don't know what it's going to look like yet, but not exactly this format.
Yeah, not exactly this format, but
yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it would be, something a little bit different, a little better.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think it's good to change it up.
Circles.
Circle. I have yet to see that. So I don't know.
Well, we will see. But anyway, lots of changes coming up. I'm really happy about it. And that's pretty much it. We'll know more come Monday, Tuesday on what's really happening behind the scenes over there, what this is really all about.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Kim, speaking of changes, there's some change happening this weekend with you. A little birdie told me something was happening, maybe a special day. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I turned 25 again.
Yeah, exactly. How many times have you turned 25?
A few. But this time it's just reversed, right? So I get to do it like for real this year.
I see what you did there. Yeah, I got you.
I get to do it for real this year. Yeah.
Well, do you have any fun plans? Are you going to do anything? Is there any baking going on with Kimberly's house or anything like that?
Well, there's going to be probably some baking. I tell you, I have learned for the last 10 or 20 years that, my birthday, I swear to God, someone said I cursed the day she was born because it's just the day that if it could go wrong, it goes wrong. So pretty much I hide under a rock now for the last few years.
Oh, no.
I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything. The next day, my daughter is going to come over and make me dinner again, which I love because I love spending time with her, especially in the kitchen. So that'll be fun. Okay. And by hiding under a rock, I'm probably going to do what makes me happy. So I'm probably going to take a little time and maybe work on some oils and some blends, and maybe not so many as I was working with last night, but a little less. Maybe I'll just get all the happy ones over here and the stimulating ones over here.
Yeah, you need a happy birthday blend. Work on that this weekend. Happy birthday.
Have a happy. I've been trying to figure out what to call it.
Oh, well, happy's good. I like happy.
Well, everybody's happy. Monique makes a happy,
Oh, I didn't realize that. I don't pay attention.
I thought about calling it a pocket full of sunshine, kind of like you.
Aww.
Miss Sunny.
That's cute. I like that too. Well,
anyway,
Kim, we as a team wanted to say happy birthday to you. So, we like to do our little videos and stuff. So, Mike, go ahead and play that birthday video. Happy birthday, Kim. It is your first birthday in the golden age, and I am so happy that we've made it, that we're here, and the future looks really bright.
Happy birthday, Kim. Thank you for everything you do. Have a great day. Happy birthday, Kim.
Hi, Kim. This is Hannah. Happy birthday. Hope all your wishes come true. Thank you for all you're doing. We love you.
Hi, Kim. This is Tony, wishing you a very happy birthday from a beautiful beach in Sardinia, Italy.
Hi, Kim.